Trevor?
Well, it depends. Some of them have chosen to go in different orders, but for the most part, it'll go by the jurors. But oh my God, do not play because I do not want to hear my voice. Sends to VL, sends to Area 51. And hello and welcome to the most important night of Distortion Survivor Andromeda. We're here with Rachel and Adam, the final two of the season. We are in FTC at the moment. And for anyone who's watching at home, thank you for supporting us. And let me get my timer up. I feel very unprepared. As Rachel, as the final juror of the, or not final juror, oh my God, final immunity winner of the season, you have had the choice to go either first or second in the opening speeches, knowing that it is in reverse order in the closing speeches. You have decided to go first. So I'm going to get my 5-minute timer, and the timer will start whenever you start speaking.
All right. Well, hey there, everyone. Hey Jerry, hey viewers, hey Marcelo. Thanks for letting me do this from your apartment. Love you and appreciate you always. Thank you, Prod, so much for putting on an incredible season and allowing me to play this game. I have had an absolute blast. And I'm excited to tell you guys about the things that I did that led to that. So, coming into this game, I did not really know. I've just I've come off a long stretch of unsuccessful org runs for the past several games. And so coming into this, I didn't really know what to expect of the game, of myself, of the cast in general. And I came in just with the mindset that I wanted to play the game that I wanted to play, regardless of if it made sense strategically or if it made sense from like my game standpoint or if it made sense for my allies, whatever. I just wanted to do what made sense for me and what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do what I thought would be fun. And early on in the game, that resulted in a lot of kind of seemingly chaotic, but also strategic decisions. Early merge, I did not vote correctly often. But it was mostly intentional and it was with the background knowledge of where almost every single vote in the game was going and the knowledge to know that if I threw my vote on Joppy or Max or whoever at any given time, it wasn't really going to impact anything. And it was a nice backup plan in case for some reason somebody had an advantage or something that was going to mess with the plans that the people I was working with had kind of set in motion. And I was able to use that to my advantage to kind of work the middle game to where my allies knew that I was with them, but the people that I didn't vote with also kind of looked at me as someone who may not be as in the know as it appeared or as like the main core alliance seemed to be. But I always knew kind of in my head where the votes were going. And I took advantage of the dark vote twist to kind of allow some security for myself and my allies in throwing my vote here and there to make decisions that they needed to. As the game progressed, obviously numbers get tighter. The ability to throw your vote kind of diminishes. And that really took off around the Landon vote. We were able to kind of come together as two sides and make a decision that kind of benefited both sides of the middle game that myself, Trevor, Caleb were playing, and pull in Crispy and Megan, make a decision that benefited all of us in taking out Landon. And I would say that's kind of where my game really took off. I think it could be looked at as the Caleb H vote, but I really think like the Landon vote and on was where I took agency for myself and I was able to make the decisions that benefited me, regardless of how that impacted the people around me. At Final 8, Trevor and Crispy won immunity. However, Trevor was not immune. I was. Trevor gave me his immunity in order to ensure security for all three of us, and to make it through that round without any kind of fear of that backfiring. Moving into final seven, I that round sucked. It just sucked a lot, but it allowed me to take over the rest of the game, and play it the way that I wanted it to be played. Crispy going out there showed me that the people that I thought had my back might not have, and that if I was going to make the end, I needed to do it on my terms. And I was able to retaliate, take out Caleb the next round, and then from there on out, I allowed myself. I won final five immunity. Trevor and I pulled off the final five. I was able to take control of that round by concealing the fact that I won immunity, nullified 3 votes against myself, and was the one that suggested that Trevor throw a vote in the event that an idol was played, allowing us to understand the true dynamics of that vote, and how we resulted in the tie. And I was able to put myself in a position where I believe I would be sitting in this final 2 chair, regardless of whether I won or not. But rather than sit back and hope that I would take into the end, I won the immunities at final 4 and final 3 and got myself here. So thanks.
Okay, Adam, your time starts when you start speaking.
Okay. So I just want to thank everyone, viewers, cast, and production for this amazing season. Okay. So people of the jury, first and foremost, I want to thank you for this incredible journey we've embarked on together. Surviving this game has been a roller coaster of emotions, and I stand before you tonight, not as someone who dominated challenges or controlled the game with idols or advantages, but as someone who thrived on the power of trust, loyalty, and human connections. From the very beginning of Merge, my name was constantly talked about as a potential vote. Many times I felt like a ship navigating through turbulent waters with the constant threat of being sunk. But I refused to let that define me. So I chose to align myself with various people in the cast, like Trevor, Landon, and Caleb R. I chose these 3 individuals for specific reasons. Landon, because they were the only returnee, Caleb R, because of their social game, and Trevor I chose because after the first immunity challenge pre-merge, he solved it right then and there, and I knew he was going to be a valuable asset to my game in the future. In the game where alliances crumble like sandcastles, I wanted to be the bedrock of trust that could weather any storm. Once merge hit, I knew that the people that had social capital would want to take a shot at each other of who they were aligned with. So throughout this journey, I watched strong players fall and hidden advantages crumble. But I remained consistent. I never won an immunity, but I always felt like the ultimate immunity was your trust. I never had a hidden immunity idol, but I believe the strongest protection in this game is the knowledge that you can count on when it matters the most. I stand before you as a player who, through the power of social game, managed to weave a safety net so strong that it carried me through the toughest tribals. As the merge started to go on, I made more connections with the cast. For example, Crispy, who called me the first time my name was out and open, which was the second merge vote, and warned me that people are going to start betraying me. This is when I started to realize that the people I was working with had to be cut as soon as possible. I had a good gauge on who was with who and where I stood with certain individuals. An example of this was when I realized Trevor and Rachel were a duo, as well as Max and Caleb R. When I wanted a certain person out of the game, I would go to a few people that I knew I could trust at that time and hint towards them going home, leaving them to spread it around and making that person have blood on their hands. My name was in the limelight so often that this is why I was not upfront with various names. In this game of outwitting, outplaying, and outlasting, I set myself up to be one of the final 2 at Final Tribal Council, and I formed amazing connections that protected me in the long run of the game. I survived on the strength of relationships I built with all of you. Trust and loyalty were my idols in this game, and they brought me here tonight. I hope you'll consider the power of genuine connections and the honor of the social game I've played. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have gone through everyone that's here. Our first juror is Caitlin. Caitlin could not be here, but Caitlin did send something to say to y'all. So let me get that question. She said, I don't know for sure if I'll be able to make it, but just in case I don't, my question for the final two is this. Close your eyes and
I know how to like run this
And-
if you want, Seb.
I got it unless you want to. I got it unless you want to.
No, it's okay. If you got it, you got it.
Not the echo. Oh my god.
Now you playing the
Okay,
YouTube block.
everyone close your Rachel and Adam, close your eyes. Caitlin has requested that I read down the list of the jurors, and you are going to raise your hand for the juror you feel you have their vote for right now. So first up is Caitlin. Next up is Caleb H. Next up is Anthony. Next up is AJ. Next up is Landon. Joppy. Crispy. Caleb R. Max. Megan. And Trevor. Okay, everyone can put their hands down and open their eyes. She had one more. To both of you, what would you say is an important move you made that makes you think you deserve to win tonight?
You can go first.
The most important move that progressed my game forward was getting AJ out and making people like known that she was playing everyone and spreading lies. The reason for this is because she was lying on my name so much that was painting me out to be like this mastermind of like I did this, I turned on people, which all of that I never turned on anyone. And if she progressed in the game, I would not be standing where I am today, nor in the position that I would have been after she got voted out. So I think that was the best move on my end for my personal game.
I would say probably Final Five would be the move I'm most proud of. And to elaborate for people that may not have heard like the full extent of the details of that vote, I won immunity at Final Five, and was finally able to put into action a plan that I had devised basically as soon as I understood like the concept of the immunity being a secret at merge. I went to Caleb and Trevor early on in the merge and said like, hey, if one of us wins immunity, I feel like it makes the most sense if we win to conceal that between like the two of us, and say that the other person won immunity. People will think that they can't vote for that person, and then if they do vote for the other, then we're safe. And it came to fruition at Final Five. I told everyone Trevor won immunity. We switched around scores and said that he won. And then I received 3 votes at Final Five, but nullified them, and we were able to decide between Max and Megan who we wanted to send home, and basically blindside the other 3 in that vote. And it allowed me to be in a position at Final Four where I basically had the power to decide how the end game would go and make it here. So
Okay, so next up is it's Caleb. Hello, Caleb. Your time starts when you start speaking. You have 6 minutes.
All right. I just want to say congratulations, you guys. I am impressed by both of you. I think you guys played two paths, Divergent and Yellow Forest, and I think that you guys are two ends of the spectrum, and it's so nice to see both of you in the end. Um, so I have one question for each of you, and then I have a general question. It's just like how well do you know me as a juror? So the first question is for Rachel. I want to know the lowest point of your game and how you recovered, and what was the highest point in your game, and what went into that.
um honestly the lowest point of my game, but also the turning point of my game was when you went home. I was under the impression that it was going to be Joppy. And when I saw you removed from the tribe chat while I was at work, I had a breakdown. I messaged my alliance chat with Max, Trevor, and Caleb, and I believe my exact words were, is this going to be a real alliance or not? If so, let me know so I can remove it from my favorites. I broke down. I made a chat with Crispy and Megan, explicitly titled "Fuck These Bitches," and decided that I really couldn't trust anyone but myself, and that I had to figure out a way to bounce back. And I think the highest point would be 2 rounds later, winning HOH, and being able to not only protect the people that I had newly formed relationships with in Crispy and Megan, but also rebuild the trust with with Trevor and Caleb and protect them as well. Kind of taking out a universal target and getting virtually no blood on my hands. And yeah, so I think those kind of went hand in hand.
Period. Loved it. Okay. And Adam, I just want to commend you because it is your first org, and making it to the finals is a big deal. I do want to know, what strategy did you have coming into your first org, and what roadblocks did you hit coming, being so novice, and then how did you overcome them?
Okay. So, let's start with the strategy one. So the strategy of my game was to have a social game and make sure people felt good with me and being truthful at first, being like, hey, this is where my head's at, stuff like that. That changed obviously when numbers started to dwindle. And I think just having a solid social game, I wanted to win challenges and find idols, but that's a luck based thing with the idols, so that wasn't in my favor. And then the challenges were just never in my favor, which if I could change that, I would love to win one or two, but it's hard to. Some blockades that I some blockades. Probably just like being at the bottom most of the time. Definitely like getting blindsided, hearing like alliance members that I was like aligned with like from the beginning betraying me. I was like, okay, that's very interesting. Uh, but something that like I overcame with that was just like kind of getting a gauge on where they're at and then using that to my advantage and going to other people and being like, what are you hearing from this specific individual? Comparing notes and being like, interesting, because I heard point A, B, C, D, and you're hearing point E, F, G, H. So it's like comparing notes and kind of sliding them under the bus, and they can get out.
All right, good answer. Okay, final question. Either of you can go. If I was an animal, what animal would I be? Either of you can go first.
Adam, go ahead. You unmuted yourself first. Sorry.
Okay. See, I just feel like a cat. I feel like you like love cats. Like you have six. Like just like I don't know. I feel like you're very like chill, which like cats are very like I'm here for the vibes. Like I don't know. That's the vibe that I got, and just like a very cool person.
I love it.
I was gonna say cat, but with a different answer. Like, I don't know if like you know, cats are just like if you're their person, you're their person, but if you're not, they're just like, that's enough. And like there's kind of the sass and like the attitude. And I feel like that is like your vibe to a T. Like when you're vibing and you're like, I like, especially I feel like our conversations in this game for the very brief period that we were able to have them, it was like, all right, we're good, we're chilling. Also, side note, so sorry that the last message I left you was you basically telling me that I would be your number one, and then I opened it and never responded because I was
That's
at work.
okay. It was true.
But
I
I
love it.
genuinely adore you, and but yeah, I feel like the cat, but like in the kind of standoffish, but also so loving way. And I'm so glad that I was on the right side of history with you in this game as opposed to our last time.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, both of you.
Caleb, thank you so much. You are free to go. And next up, whoop, is Anthony. So,
Hello.
Anthony, your time starts when you start speaking.
All right. Well, I just started speaking. So congrats, guys. You made it to final two. I'm gonna keep this quick because you got a lot of questions coming. My first question is gonna be for Adam. Adam, can you tell me your trust ranking at the start of merge? So basically, when jury started, what was your trust ranking?
Okay. Let me figure. Okay. So my trust ranking coming into merge. So that's on the swap tribe. So it basically went because this is all before AJ like started throwing out my name and stuff. So it was Landon, AJ, Joppy, Trevor. No, actually Max, Trevor. I'm trying to remember everyone. Caleb H, Rachel, then there was Anthony, Megan, Crispy, just because I just started meeting all y'all. But yes, I think that's
All right.
everyone. I'm hoping that's everyone.
Well, I guess we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see.
All good. Thank you for your question. That fills me in on things I needed to know. Rachel, so during Touchy Subjects, when I got voted off, I was nominated most likely to be second. Shocker, I'm not going to be second. So my question for you is tell me why you think you would get second, and then tell me why you think Adam will get second.
I think that if I get second, it will be because first of all, Adam, mad respect, getting here, having his name thrown out every single round. I have so much respect for him to be able to be here and have gotten here. And in his first game. So that's mad respect. I believe I kind of left some people. I think my game wasn't as flashy as it could have been, which was intentional on my part, but doesn't always read well with juries. And I've learned that in the past, and it's gotten me second before. So I believe that history could repeat itself, but I really hope it doesn't. I believe if Adam gets second, it will be because the jury respects more of like seeing more outward control and outward like dominance over the game, as he was more under the radar. So I believe if y'all value control and knowledge of the game and the inner workings of how people are thinking strategically. I believe I would excel in that sense. If you value survival and kind of getting there by any means necessary, then I believe Adam would receive your vote.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Congrats and good luck with the rest of the questions.
Thank you, Anthony, so much. Next up is AJ. Obviously, Miss Time Zone Queen could not be here. But we do have some questions that she sent over, and we're gonna send it over to the fabulous Mikey, to the hilarious Mikey, to do the questions. Mikey, you have
All right,
6
y'all.
seconds.
Hopefully I'm not echoing this time. So AJ's question for you two, it's one question directed towards the both of you. What move or moves that you made do you believe make you deserve to win over the other finalist, and why?
You want to go first or you want me to? Okay. I would say starting at my HOH round, which was taking AJ out. Unfortunately, I just knew after the Caleb H vote, I learned about the group chat that was formed of like Caleb, Landon, AJ, Trevor, Max, I think, and learning that I wasn't a part of that. I needed to take away any kind of numbers that Caleb and Trevor had that weren't me. And then going into final 8, getting immunity from Trevor, guaranteeing myself safety on a day that my schedule was a bit chaotic and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to be around to chat as much. Also final 6, taking out Caleb. I think that was a big turning point for my game. And I was able to cut someone who on a personal level I love deeply, but on a game level would never fully have my back to the end. And then final 5 I already touched on. Final 4 and final 3, making those decisions, not because I had to, but because I wanted to have the agency to take people out and make the decision of who I was sitting here with and guarantee that no matter what, I had a route to the end, and that I would be secure to sit here and to be able to plead my case and defend the game that I played.
I would say, like, the moves that I made were more like sneaky in a sense. I wasn't as flashy with my moves, especially like with dark votes and my name being out there and stuff. But the moves that I did make, I would sprinkle little like truths and some lies in order for people to start turning on each other. That start around final 7-ish. I would tell, trying to think back, I would tell like someone that they're throwing out their name, and then their name potentially is out there. And if it was true, it was true, but sometimes it wasn't true, and I would have them paranoid and they would vote the way that like I kind of wanted to vote. And that's the best way I could answer that question.
Mikey, that's everything correct?
Yep, that was all she had.
Sounds good. Okay, next up we have 8th place. Come on down. Hello, Landon. Your time starts when you start speaking. You have 6 minutes.
And my damn mic unmute correctly. Hi guys. Congrats on making it to the final 2. You guys both played good games, and so yeah, I'm just very proud of you guys both for making it here. I have one individual question for each of you, and it kind of ties into the same like theme. So the questions that I'm going to ask you are basically talking about intentionality. I don't know if you've picked up on it as much or like how much you're aware of it, but a lot of the jury kind of sees this as like 2 of the weaker games. And like, so my question is going to be, about the flaws in your guys' game. I want to know how much of that flaw was like intentional. And for the record, don't try to give like an answer that you think I want to hear, that you think the jury wants to hear, because it could go either way. Like maybe you say it's intentional, but we don't want it to be, or maybe you say it's not intentional, but we want it to be. So just answer like as honestly as possible. So I'll first go to Adam. So a lot of the time, Adam, when people would have like individual calls with you, but especially on group calls, one of the most like common things that I heard was people felt like you were just kind of like observing, like listening, taking notes, and that you were very like quiet, not giving anything back. So I guess my question for you is like, how intentional was that? Was that like a strategy move of I'm gonna sit back here and observe and just like not give any of my information away, because that's what left a lot of people feeling they couldn't trust you as much? Or was it just like I'm a shy person and like sometimes I struggle in a group call or on a call, like being the one that talks?
Yeah, so I would actually say it's a mix of both. Being my first org, I didn't know how to like speak in that scenario because you would have like multiple people talking at once, and then I got like chaotic, and then I would like start getting anxiety where I'm like, oh, if I like start talking and like maybe I'll interrupt someone and like they'll like be mad at me or something. But also it was definitely intentional, like observing wise, because in my everyday life, I love to like observe and like read the room. And then I love to hear like how people talk and like how people like interact with each other. So that was definitely like a mix of both, where it was intentional, but also like personality, like shy, like getting to know everyone, like just figuring out how to interact with certain individuals.
Okay, thanks for your answer. I'll go on to Rachel. Okay. So first of all, Rachel, I'm gonna give this like a little bit of a TV moment. It's not personal, so like don't think it's me like attacking you, but just for TV's sake, my opinion, Survivor the show, right? The original concept is taking 16 to 20 strangers, bringing them together on an island, people who would never meet normally in their like everyday walks of life, and seeing how they interact with each other, right? And sometimes playing the game with you, I didn't feel like your game wasn't flashy. Like that wasn't my problem with your game. My problem with your game was more that if your name wasn't Caleb Reynolds, Trevor, Megan, or Crispy, people that you had some like awareness of pre-game, that game like basically didn't exist. Like for me and everyone else I've talked to in the jury, you basically just like didn't really make an effort to like get to know us or try to like work strategically with us. So I guess I'm wondering like how much of that was intentional of just you like not wanting to get your hands into too many pots or whatever. And if the case, like if that's the case, why? Like what's the reasoning on ignoring a lot of the people in the game when the whole point of the game, in my perspective, is to meet new people?
First off, I just want to say I had no relationship with Trevor prior to this game. I met him in this game, heard of him in this game. So I just want to put that out there. But early on, it felt like I feel like our original tribe, we didn't go to tribals. If we did go to a tribal, it was a very clear boot. There was no kind of really need for strategy early on. And so I found it difficult to play strategically at that point in the game because I didn't want to play too hard early on and then get stuck in a position where people are seeing me as too much of a gamer, and kind of putting a target on my own back at that point. Later onto the game, Merge, I felt like the way that the tribe split at swap, I was basically put on a tribe with the people that I talked to the most, and then the two people that I had like somewhat of a relationship with before the game from the other tribe. And so I really felt like I was in a weird position where the people that I was exposed to in game were the people that I did have a better relationship with, setting me up in a position at Merge where the people that I didn't really know as well got really close, voted together multiple times, and then came into the Merge already closer to each other than they would be to me. And so yes, I could have put in more of an effort, and I do apologize for not doing that at the beginning of Merge, but I also know myself, and I know that in games previous, if I start talking to everyone, then I start having a really hard time making strategic decisions for myself and being able to cut people as needed. And so I wanted to put some distance. After calling with AJ at Merge, I was like, oh, I love AJ. I really want to work with her. After calling you at Merge, I was like, cool, I really love Landon. I want to work with them. But knowing in my head none of these people have my back as much as like any other relationships that I have. The Caleb H vote proved that to me, and that you were the only person that told me that Caleb H was a name at that point. No one else really brought that to me. No one else told me, looped me in on that vote. And then I learned after that all of those people have a group chat without me. So I'm going to put my trust in my communication towards people that are telling me what's going on and keeping me in the loop. And so,
But if I can ask a follow-up question, like
Yeah.
you say that, but like you just said, I'm the one that told you what was going on in that vote, and so the other people didn't. So I was just confused, like why you went to the people that didn't tell you what was going on.
I apologize, Landon, but your time is up.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was 5 minutes per question, but it's okay. Thank you guys both for your answers.
It was 6. You already hit it.
Okay.
I'll try
Thank you
to
guys.
I'll try to address that further on later. But
Thank you, Landon. I
Bye.
apologize for that.
It's all good. Bye.
Okay, next up is our time zone king Joppy. Unfortunately, Joppy cannot be here, but who's doing Joppy's questions?
LOL, that would be me.
Okay, Nick is here to fill in as Joppy.
With my shitty ass voice. Joppy said, first of all, congrats to the both of you. You have done something none of us on the jury could do, regardless of how you got there. You should be proud. To Rachel, the night I went home, did you throw a vote on anyone? If so, on who, like we discussed? Or did you follow the leader and vote me instead?
I did not vote for you. I voted for Max. I told you I was not going to vote for you, and I kept my word in that. And I told everyone after that round that I voted for Max, so that can be vouched for as well. So yeah.
And Adam, we started off great once we swapped, got along well. What was the reason for giving me the cold shoulder as soon as we hit merge? Were you legit busy, or did you not have interest in working with me anymore? I think we were still kind of close, but it started feeling really cold.
Yeah, I first off want to apologize, and it was never to isolate you or anything. Personal life, like, took a toll, like, school-wise, because that's the most important thing to me. Like, this game was great and all, but when came, like, assignments and stuff like that couple days, like, especially during, like, your vote out, prior to that, like, I had assignments due, and I couldn't put them off because I wanted to pass my classes. Yeah, we were really good, and the reason why I did vote you is because, like I said, like in my opening, like I was at the bottom usually. Like my name was always out there. If people figured out like I went against the like grain or stuff like that, then I'm the next boot. So although it seems like a cop out like answer, in order for me to progress in the game, I had to keep myself safe and do certain things that seemed like boring or with majority, but it was in my best intentions to do that.
Nick, that's everything.
Yeah, I believe that's all from Joppy.
That is everything from Joppy.
Okay. Nick, who is next?
Look at the waiting room.
Okay. Next up is Crispy. Okay, crispy. And we are waiting. And hello, Crispy. Nice to see you not on the bus.
Okay, I'm gonna start it off by saying, "Hey, Marcelo, hi, bestie, love you." Okay, but real talk now. This is serious, you guys. I do want to reiterate what people have said, that I'm very proud of the both of you. Adam, gonna beat the dead horse. Like, first game, awesome. Final two, that's something you should be very, very proud of. And Rachel, I'm so proud of you because you finally got out of that 11th place spot, bestie. I'm so proud of you. So I was gonna ask a question earlier, but Landon kind of took it from me. So I'm gonna think on my feet here. And my journey in this game was a rather difficult one. I feel like at both times the two of you kind of talked about how you felt like you really had to scrap and fight to get here. And I kind of felt like the two of you had a little bit of an easier ride because you had vast majorities and like people who were willing to protect you and stuff. And I'm jealous of that. So I wish that I had an easy ride in this game. But I guess what I would like to hear from the both of you is I really didn't have a follow-up prepared. What was the singular hardest decision, concrete decision that you had to make that benefited you and only you and none of your allies? And I want to hear if it was a purely selfish move. Like, tell me what was the hardest, most selfish move you made in the game. Whoever can go first. Actually, I want Adam to go first.
Okay, so I just had to make one a couple days ago. How long ago was this? A couple days ago. So Final Four comes around. Final Four comes around and Trevor won the immunity. So it was between, or you won the immunity. Sorry, you won the immunity. But in the knowledge for Final Four, it was Trevor. So it was between, in my mind, voting for Megan or Rachel. And I could either tie it up in my own mind, like what I was told. I could either tie it up or vote with majority. And that day I went with, I had a call with each single person and was like, give me why I should like vote this way or save this way or like stuff like that. And I talked with Megan and I heard her plea and I was like, I really wanted to give her that chance. And that was like my intention for the most part. But then once I talked to Rachel and then I started balancing out everything, I felt like I had a better chance of being in the spot that I'm in right now if I voted with majority. So that was probably the most single-handedly hardest decision I had to make, was either tie it or go to fire or majority.
Great. And actually, Rachel, I have a different, I don't want to hear this answer from you. I have something else I want you to do. I want to give you a chance to follow up with what Landon was saying about your connections and stuff, because I feel like you had more to say that I think is going to really be helpful for you.
Yeah, so for me, I lost the trail of thought that I had exactly that I was gonna say in that point, but I felt like Landon, although Landon was the person who clued me in on that vote, Trevor was the person who fully, like, after that vote and after the way that I reacted and kind of got like the energy of how things went down, Trevor was the one who actually broke down what happened and why, and the exact dynamics of kind of the tribe and what was left, what groups were made, what advantages were had, where people stood. And that's where I feel like his and my relationship really was solidified. And he kind of brought the full picture in and allowed me to be able to kind of understand my positioning in the game and where I needed to navigate from then on. And I knew Landon, AJ, Joppy, like, were a very solid three that I was not going to be able to just work my way into. And I really didn't want to just waste my time getting really attached to people as humans, because as a human, all of y'all are wonderful. I called with Joppy for a good 30 minutes and decided actually, I'm not going to vote you out. I'm going to throw my vote and I'm going to vote Max and I'm going to try to see if other people want to do that. If not, I'm still not voting you. And that was a 30-minute conversation. And like, I know myself, I'm an emotional player. I'm an emotional person in general. If I love you, it's going to be real hard for me to do something against you. And I came into this game wanting to fight for myself and do things for myself. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I can't do that if I am emotionally attached in any capacity. Voting out Caleb was rough. Seeing Crispy go, despite it benefiting my game and allowing me to have a clear path to the end rather than being stuck at final five between two duos that I worked with, I was able to make clear-cut decisions for the rest of the game. And so by distancing myself personally, I know I rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but it allowed me to see the game as a game and not as personal relationships that I continued to sever.
Awesome. Thank you
Love
so
that
much,
answer.
Kristen.
Bye. Good luck, you guys. Proud of you both. You're both killing it.
Okay, so Icon Legend was able to come back and they had requested their time. So hello, Caitlin. Your 6 minutes starts when you start speaking.
All right. I just want to congratulate Adam and Rachel for making the final two. And gonna start off by having them close their eyes. And I want you to raise your hand if you think you're getting jury's votes tonight. And then I do have one question I'm wanting to know from the two of them, which is I want to know what you think is the best strategical move you've made in the game and why it is the move that makes you deserve to win tonight.
I feel like I've touched on a lot of the moves that I've made so far in this game. But one that I haven't really talked about was my decision at final three, which I think would have been my answer to Crispy's question about like the selfish thing that we've done in this game. I swore up and down from like final 8 on that Trevor would be my final two and that I would go to the end with him, regardless of circumstance. And then I had my arms above my head for 30 minutes, and then I had my arms above my head for another 30 minutes. And I fought tooth and nail for that victory because I wanted to make the decision that benefited me the most. And I looked Trevor dead in the eyes in a breakout room and said, I want to vote you out. And it was the single hardest decision I made in this game because I am a very loyal player. I'm a very emotional person, like I said previously. And although I don't see those things as a weakness, I see them as a strength on a human level. But in that decision, I knew if I listened to my heart over my brain, I was going to lose this game. And I wanted to do what benefited me the most, and that was cutting him. But I wanted to be the one to make that decision, and I didn't want anyone else to be able to take credit for it, which is why I chose to do it at 3, rather than taking the shot anytime before then, because I knew taking him out at 5, at 4 left me in a must-win position. And although I did win those competitions, I wanted the agency that if something went wrong, I wasn't able to win, I wanted a backup plan. And he was always there as a backup plan to vote or to vote with me. And at 3, I was able to make that decision to cut him myself.
Thanks for that answer, Rachel.
I would say the most strategical move for my game was probably just like going to certain people and sprinkling information that I wanted to give, whether it was truthful or a lie. Uh, and it was with people that I was working with, as well as people that I was like, just like, hey, how's it going? Like, not really working with, and just making sure that I was in a good position and kind of throwing someone else, or like not throwing, but like sliding someone under the bus. So I had one more round in order to fight if my name was ever out there again.
Thanks for that answer, Adam.
Thank you. Caitlin, are you all good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Caitlin. You can hop off the Zoom when you're ready.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. We have not received anything from Caleb. We're wishing him well. So next up is Max. Max. Max, your time starts when you speak.
Hello, final two. First off, for my look, this was my hat from my introduction and my mask from my action shot blast in the past. First, I just want to quickly say to Adam, I apologize for the way I came at you when it went out. I thought the vote was 2-2-1. I was a dumbass, but yeah. Most of my wait, I hope y'all can hear me through the mask, but okay, most of my questions are kind of like already answered already. So let's have a positivity circle this round because y'all are killing it and deserve it. So very quickly, Adam, I have the names of 5 jury members. I want you each to just compliment to a quick, nice statement. Adam, you can go first. The 5 I want you to compliment would be Caitlin, AJ, Landon, Crispy, and Megan.
Can you repeat those so I can like?
Yeah, Caitlin, AJ, Landon, Crispy, and Megan. And Rachel, if you want yours too to write down, I can give you yours too. So you would be the other 5. So Caleb H, Anthony, Joppy, Caleb R, and Trevor. And leave me out of it. I do not. I'm still very mad at my game. I don't want compliments on me. But yeah, go ahead.
I'll go first. So Caitlin, I know we didn't get to talk as much as like voice call, but like over text, you were just so always positive, and like that's something I really like loved about you was just like you would say good morning to everyone and like how are you doing and just checking in, and that's like something that I really valued like on our OG tribe as well as like our swap tribe when you swapped with me. AJ, you always have like a nice conversation to have. Like it was always like flowy and just like on our swap tribe, that's when I got like close with you. And I really loved all our conversations, and you were always so nice and like flexible, especially like when you were in like a different time zone, which I really appreciated. Landon, I was so sad that you left. Like you were one of my closest people that like I uh like was working with, and like actually like one of the closest people that I would talk to just like personally. And you were like such a genuinely nice person, and like you helped me throughout this game, and like for my first game, like I really appreciated it because like you understood that I was still learning, and I really appreciate that. Crispy, I know we didn't get to talk much as well, but I really love just like your whole like vibe and personality. And also I really appreciated that you helped me during the second round of merge, and like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and I really thank you for that. And then Megan, we got closer as it dwindled down in numbers. I know we didn't get to talk at the beginning of merge, but I just want to say you're one of the most like genuinely nice people, and like you could like just like talk about anything. Like I know we're like talking about like education because we're both like in that field, and just like I just found it really cool to have that connection with you, and just like yeah, it was amazing.
Caleb H. You already know I love you. You are like, I don't know, you're a breath of fresh air at Merge to just talk to and just chat with, catch up, talk about whatever, shoot the shit. I have yet to officially change my Starbucks order because I didn't want to order what you told me until I was able to talk to you about it and give you a full review. So I'm waiting for the day that I can give you a live reaction. But I genuinely adore you, and I'm so glad that we were able to kind of mend fences here. Anthony, you are actually one of the funniest people to be like on a call with. Our like original swap call, I think like when we first swapped tribes, I was like, all right, this bitch is funny. Like we're gonna have a good time. And I wish that like our schedules aligned more so I was able to kind of have those one-on-one calls. And that's on me. My work schedule did not work super great for me in this game, and it made kind of one-on-one calls a lot more difficult for me. But you were always just like someone who had a good energy and like a just fun personality to be around. Joppy, I don't know if it's the accent, I don't know if it's just the vibes, the energy. I am obsessed, and I am so sad that we did not call until the day that you went home, because I think the entire trajectory of my game could have been different if we had communicated sooner. Granted, I don't think it would have gotten me here because I probably could have thrown my entire game away for you and you would probably be here instead. But I don't know, just your energy is infectious and you're such just like a joyful, loving person to talk to. And we had a great time. Caleb Bar, first of all, I love you and I hope that you're doing okay. I understand not being here. It's been a rough day. I really hope you're doing well and I hope you're feeling better. You know I love you. Our music video skills do not complement each other in the slightest, but I have never had so much fun doing something terribly in my life. And I just am so grateful for just how kind you are always and how much grace you extend me in moments that I do not deserve it. And I appreciate you so, so, so much. Trevor.
Sorry to cut you off. I really do apologize, but your time is up, Max.
Trevor, you're cool, I guess.
Darn it, because I was going to compliment you both as well, but that can wait till after the game. Great job with the jury questions, and truth be told, that's what I wanted to ask the whole time. But yeah, good luck.
Thank you, Max. And next up.
Wait, hold on. Camera. Hello. Hi. Hi.
Hello, Megan. Your time starts when you start speaking.
Hi guys. I have some apologies to make in advance. Not because I'm gonna be evil and brutal. But the first apology is that I have been drinking alcohol tonight, and I don't drink alcohol, but it's because I have this fucking bitch here with me in my house. If you don't know JJ, you should. The second apology I have to make is I was really angry when I got voted out, specifically at Adam, because I was like, this is stupid. I'm a goat. I don't know why they're voting me out. I was wrong. You were right. So I'm sorry about that. Turns out the two of you are sitting to the exact person you need to be sitting next to win this game. So really proud of you guys for that. Because my perception was way off. And I know I said I wasn't gonna ask you guys anything when I left, and that I was simply gonna vote for Trevor to win. Unfortunately, I don't have Trevor to vote for here. So I do have two questions. My first question is gonna go to Rachel. Rachel, based on what the jury perception has been from what I've heard, not my perception because you and I worked really well together and talked a lot, but many jurors feel that your social game was subpar and that you simply didn't talk to them. I know you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but you told me at various points that you didn't want to talk to people and that it was like sort of a burden for you to call people. So can you tell me, like, I guess why you didn't think you needed to talk to certain people to still be in your position in a spot where you could win this game? Like why it wasn't necessary for you to talk to everyone?
I wouldn't say unnecessary so much as for me it was more necessary, like I addressed with kind of how I answered Crispy's question. I knew that the more I invested in people personally, the harder it would be for me to play the game. And I know that that doesn't bode well in the sense of personal relationships and perception here. But I've also done the opposite, talked to everyone, been close with everyone, been besties with everyone, and then had a whole jury of people that hated me because I voted them out. So I think in trying to balance having personal relationships and getting close with people and then voting them out with kind of I think in trying to swing the opposite way, I swung too far. Also, this was my first, like, the first time that I've made it deep into a game since adjusting schedules and moving to like a night shift schedule. And I have so much respect for anyone that plays these games internationally because just living here and my day-to-day schedule and trying to talk to people when I'm working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. was impossible. And so for those of you that do this in every game that you play, I have the utmost respect. I have not figured out that balance yet, and that has kind of impacted the way that I was able to communicate on the days that I was working. On the days that I was off, I felt like I wanted to maintain the relationships that I had that I knew were solid, rather than investing in ones that I felt like were going to not prioritize me anyway.
Awesome, thank you. And then for Adam, a question I have for you. Again, this is kind of similar, I think, to what other people have touched on tonight and what you've already talked about. But from the perception of some of the jury, from having talked to them, a lot of people feel like you didn't take as much into your own hands, in a sense that you were maybe a little afraid at certain points to go for what you wanted or to say a name. So can you just tell me more about, like, I guess whether that fear was involved or like why it was smart, I guess, for you at certain points to not be the person to say a name based on how like your game was going?
Yeah, so there were two instances, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there were two instances that really like messed up my game. Not messed up, but like basically put me in the limelight because I threw out a name. The first one being AJ, or no, it was, yeah, AJ. I was like, what if she's coming for me, then like I'm gonna go for you. And then once we started going at it, like it got switched around and like people started saying like, oh, we should vote out Adam. And I'm like, why are we voting out me? Like I'm not playing everyone. And then the second one was Anthony. Like it put me in a position where I said Anthony's name, and then people started skewering it around, saying like I was the mastermind throwing out names. So then I learned my lesson and I said, okay, I'm not going to throw out a name. And also, the reasons why I threw out names in the first place is because nobody else would. Like, I'm not the person where it's like 5 minutes before tribal, let's say Adam's name and then go with it. Like, no, let's have an hour before and let's ease into it. Like, that's a thing that I was doing. But then I figured out that if I do that, that's just going to send me home because people are going to be like, oh, Adam threw out a name 3 hours before, get him out. So I hinted toward names like during the Crispy vote, I hinted towards Caleb R. I said, hey, what if we do Crispy? And he took that, he used it. So it made him seem like the blood was on his hands when I literally said, I want Crispy out because we just don't have a game relationship, really. And yeah, so that's all I have.
With that, thank you, Megan.
Oh my gosh, well, thank you guys so much. I'm so sorry that I'm tipsy. This doesn't happen, but we're gonna have fun at reunion. Mwah.
Okay, and we have our final juror. Drum roll. Joining. Okay, Trevor, your time starts when you start speaking.
What if I just don't talk? Oh, I just said something. All right. Wipe the smiles off your faces, boys and girls. Adam, I will do my best to be as harsh as possible to both of you. Because I feel like I'm still waiting for some answers. And I still want to hear about your guys' game. Adam, I'm gonna start with you. Adam, what round did you personally have the most power? And don't say the AJ round because you were nominated, so that is not a round you had power in. So what is a round that you had power in that person went home that you wanted to go home?
The round that I had most power in. I feel like the most power I had before people started like saying like, oh, like he's masterminding stuff like that would be the Anthony vote. I threw out the name first and I said, let's go with this. And people just started stacking and building on blocks. And I felt empowered because last round was the Caleb H vote. And that's when my name was out. But then, like, people did a plan to, like, blindside like me, but also save me. And it was good, but at the same time confusing. But the Anthony vote, I felt like, okay, I can build back up. And then it came crashing down once people started saying, "Oh, he's masterminding," blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm not masterminding really anything. I threw out a name because nobody else would.
Okay.
So I would say that.
Okay. Fair. Second question, Adam. We had a call right before Final Four Travel Council where you said to me you don't think you can beat Megan, and you also said you don't think you can beat me or Rachel. Is that true?
Honestly, yes, because just as like Megan just said, if she was sitting here alongside me, she would have more than likely won, according to what the jury has said. With
Yeah. So
you,
with me, so my question is, why would you go to a Final Four with people that you think could all beat you?
yeah. So basically, the people that I wanted it, that I felt I had a chance with, either they got voted up without me knowing, or like that was where majority was at, and I couldn't do anything about it. So it was kind of not in my hands. It was kind of just like,
Okay.
I'm here, and yeah.
Okay, understood. What's my time? Rod.
3 minutes and 11 seconds. 9.
Okay, thank you. Rachel Roth. So I was gonna ask a question, but now I want clarification on the question. If you, because you mentioned earlier, that you decided you were not taking me during the final three competition. Why did you take me to final three? Sort of similar question, but why did you take me to final three if you think that I would beat you, and then the entire time say that I am gonna be taken no matter what because you want one of us two to win?
So, starting around when we voted out Caleb at final six, I realized the threat that put on us as a duo. Going into final five, I knew that your name would always be said before mine, and I knew that you were the only person left in the game that would be willing to take me to a finale. I didn't think that Adam or Megan or Max would, so I wanted someone that I knew for a fact I could trust to vote with me. Same at final four. I didn't think it made sense for you to go there because, again, if I take you out, I put myself in a must-win scenario for the rest of the game. Whereas as long as you're next to me, you're someone who people are going to want to vote for before me if I'm not safe, or if I am safe, if you're safe, whatever. I have someone that would be willing to vote with me. And I knew that going into a final three, if you're sitting next to me and Adam is sitting next to me, I believed Adam would take me over you because he would see you as the bigger threat. I believe that you would take me over Adam because of our game relationship. And I believe that I put myself in a position where I would make final two no matter what.
Okay. Adam, would you have taken me? This is not like gonna impact my decision. I'm just curious. Would you have if you beat Rachel, are you cutting me?
I love you personally, but game
Oh,
wise, you had to
no!
go. You had to go.
Adam!
I'm
Damn
sorry.
it!
I saw right through the jury. I was like, they're gonna vote. Yeah, no, sorry.
I'm most mad that Megan was right more than anything. Okay. Anyway, how many seconds I got left?
We have about a minute 55 seconds.
Okay. So the only thing I want to say is, please, in your final statements, show your killer instinct. I don't care that you guys chose to be passive at times. We understand that. We understand that sometimes you didn't choose to be passive. But I want to see you guys absolutely show that you deserve to win and that you want to win and that you're here on purpose. Rachel, I just want to say, remember the moment when you were talking to me and I said, I want you to remember this during Final Travel Council. Make sure your biggest fear doesn't become your biggest nightmare. Okay. That's all I got.
Wow, you got right just time. Bye, Trevor.
Perfect. See you guys.
So embarrassing for you, Trevor.
Okay, you have gotten it past the questionnaires. It is time for your final please. Adam, as you went second in the beginning, you're going to go first here, followed by Rachel. At that point, for the jurors that are watching, it'll be time to submit your votes. We're going to get these votes in as soon as possible. And I say that very nicely. But in the meantime, Adam, your 5 minutes starts when you start speaking.
Okay. So my final spiel. I know my game was considered or seen as the weaker game, and I understand that from a viewer's perspective, but in reality, I fought to be here, especially as a new player at the bottom most of the time. I fought to be here in order to thrive. I made sure that my name was always off the table. Even if it was on the table, I made sure it was taken off, whether it was myself or other people helping me get my name off. That was my main thing. Is I don't even want to be an option, because many times it was potentially an option, but I said no, we're not going to have that. We're going to fight, and if my name is an option, just hope for the best, which most of the time I got it off somehow, some way. I made sure that people that were coming for me were out of the game. AJ, like Caleb R, which I didn't have anything to do with, but I was thankful that he was out. Like I fought to be here, and I would love your jury vote, because I feel like I was a survivor of this game. Like throughout the whole swap, all the way up until final three. And it was stressful, but we pushed through, we persevered, and we're here sitting now, waiting to crown the winner. So that's all I have. I thank you all so much, and yeah.
Give me 1 second. You got me right as I was fighting. I apologize. Rachel, your time starts when you start speaking.
All right. Well, this has been a great time with all of you. I really appreciate the feedback, because I always appreciate seeing how my game was viewed and the ways that I can improve going forward. Despite the weaknesses and the flaws that have been pointed out tonight, I'm still extremely proud of the game that I played, and I believe that it is a game that is worth defending and worth explaining and worthy of representing this season. I had control for the majority of this merge. I knew exactly where votes were going, and if I wasn't voting with them, it's because I knew where it was going and I wanted the backup plans and I wanted to take advantage of this twist, throw votes as needed, throw chaos as needed. I won 4 individual competitions, which is tied for the record in Distortion Survivor. I shattered the immunity, the final immunity endurance comp record in order to choose my own path here. I decided the votes at 6, 5, 4, 3. I made those decisions and it got me here. And it might have not been the most outspoken game, and I may have rubbed people the wrong way or not built the personal connections that I typically do of myself in this game, but I did it with purpose and I did it with intentionality, and I made every decision that I made because I wanted to make those decisions in this game. I did not do anyone else's bidding. I wanted to prove that I could make a decision and stick up for myself, and I've done that. I have made it here because I earned and fought every step of the way. And I know that it may not be the most respected thing. And if that's what loses it for me, I can rest knowing that I made the decisions that I made for myself. And I am just so grateful that I was able to play with you guys. And I hope that going into this, that you see me as someone who represents the season well. I know this is probably not your ideal final 2, but when is it really? Because if you're on the jury, it's not your ideal final 2 because you're not in it. And so I want to say that I put people there in the order that I did for a reason. I got here. I'm proud of myself. I hope that I have earned your vote in some capacity. And if not, then so be it. But I really feel like this game deserves a winner who played with intentionality the entire time and played with the drive to push themselves forward and push the people that they were close with forward. And that's where I'm at. I thank you guys for having me. Thank you for the questions. And that's what I've got. Sorry, I'm a little, my brain is a little fried, but love you all. Thank you, Prod.
Okay. I tell all the finalists this, but Adam, Rachel, take a deep breath. Everything is over. I'm gonna send the Zoom to the jurors, and I will go collect the votes.
If you all would like to make shout outs for one last time, now's your time to do so.
Shout out to everyone in this cast, all the viewers, Prod, my Prod guests, Mac and Cam. Y'all were all amazing, and I loved getting to know each and every one of you so much. And yeah.
Shout out to this guy for letting me do the last week of this game in his house. Shout out to Marvin for letting me do half of a week of a game in his house. Shout out to John Dickens for letting me do a week of this game in his house.
Didn't you do the week of this game in this house?
My apartment flooded for the whole game, so I just went around the country to play with my friends instead. Love you guys. Thank you.
Shout out to Pride. Amazing game. Shout out to Renee Rapp. Thank you so much for just everything you do in this community. Shout out to Carrie Underwood, who sang the iconic song Enchanted. Everyone says that Taylor Swift sang it, but it's truly Enchanted by Carrie Underwood. And I want to give a shout out to Steve in New York City, because without you, Rachel and I would be really sad.
And here comes your fellow friends. You guys, the jurors that just joined can also make shout outs. We are live in the VL. We're still collecting votes.
Fuck you, Trevor.
That is not a shout out. Like, objectively, just not.
Yes, it is.
She did shout you
Um,
out.
I'm still currently mad at Trevor right now.
When her movie's over, I'll bring her if she says yes.
Interesting.
JJ would like to give a shout out. JJ.
Shout out Nick and Mikey, your icons, and Grace.
Wow.
Period.
Seven jack shit to JJ.
I said, fuck you.
But Seb's
No, I'm going into hibernation.
He said, fuck Seb.
Shout out to my pre-made alliance with me and Marcelo. It really it could have worked out. It just fell apart. I
Trevor,
know.
I hate to break it to you, but Marcelo also wasn't taking you to the end.
Marcelo, what?
I won that. I won the I'm still doing it to this day. Like my arms are still up, girls.
Y'all, my shoulder hurt so fucking bad yesterday and I could not figure out why. And then I remembered what I did for an hour the night before and was miserable.
I participated in paperweight on my season. I also was the winner. And let me tell ya, my arm was sore, girl.
As somebody who only lasted like 25 minutes, I was in pain for like 3 days. So I get it. I do.
I'll probably say something else after winner reveal, but I do just want to say, since you're all here, thank you so much for playing. Like, we could not have had this season without you guys, and like we always appreciate so much being able to come together at the end of the season with all of y'all. And I unfortunately couldn't make it to last season's finale because I was moving. So I'm very happy to be here with you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for playing.
Yeah, I agree, I guess.
Y'all are cute or whatever.
Wish JJ played and Marcelo, but it's fine.
They have our number when apps drop.
I'm not opposed.
I'll apply to season 5.
This is season.
I literally
Wait, what?
I literally just told him that, but he decided to say it again.
Season 6?
Yes, Miss Girl.
Hello, everyone. I have the votes. Again, just want to. No, season 4 was canceled. Girl, okay, this is not the point here. Y'all are a mess. Just to reiterate what everyone else said, and I always mention it. Ever since season 4 got canceled, I'm very excited and very happy every season that Distortion gets to finish with a finale and not at Final 16. So with that, I want to thank you guys for just being here and being part of this amazing cast. But I have the votes. Again, Rachel, for dramatic purposes, can everyone go off camera except for Rachel and Adam? Actually, let me see if I can do something. Oop. No, I know you're not gonna be the only one. Don't give me a sec. Give me a sec.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I figured out how Zoom worked. I should also go on Spotlight, right?
Yeah, can someone just turn off my camera? I don't know how to do that on phone.
I got you. Give me. Nope.
I got you.
Okay. I have the votes. Okay. First vote. Adam. Second vote. is for Adam. Third vote is for Rachel. Fourth vote is for Rachel. Fifth vote is for Adam. Sixth vote is for Rachel. It's 3 votes Rachel, 3 votes Adam. Seventh vote, Rachel. Eighth vote, Rachel. Ninth vote. And the winner of Distortion Survivor Andromeda, Rachel. Congratulations, Rachel. You have the floor.
Thank you guys. I really hope you don't hate me. I don't hate any of you. I love you guys. I'm sorry that I didn't talk to you more. Yay. Sorry. I'm like trying to be excited, but I'm also kind of sad because I feel really bad. But I love you guys. So yeah.
I love you, chance.
Okay, Adam is
I'm better now.
Adam is our second placer. You have the floor as well.
I'm okay with it. I'm really proud of me. Like coming into this game as a first timer, like I know like my game wasn't the game I wanted to play. Obviously, I want to be more vocal, more like flashy and stuff, but given the hand I was dealt with, most of the time, it didn't work out that way. But I made it work and I am second place and I can't be mad. And I didn't mean any like no personal anything, voting you out or anything. Like it was just to further my game and I hope we can all like still like keep in touch, and I'm honored to have each and every single one of you like in my first game cast. And yeah, I'm just really excited. Congratulations, Rachel. You really deserve this. Like I was obviously I wanted to win, but like I was like, damn, she deserves to win. I'm like, she deserves to win. And yeah, I'm just excited.
And with that, another successful season of Distortion. But
I'm realizing I'm muted. I just want to say that I love and appreciate all of you here very much. Like I said, I did a repeat kind of what I did last season at the finale. Like you guys have, like last season, you guys have done the same thing. You have proven how much strength this series is able to have, and that no matter what falls in our path and what happens, that because of y'all's determination and y'all's love for it and our love for this game, we're able to continue moving on and throwing more fun seasons out here. But yeah, I love and appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much for playing. I hope all of you had the best, even though it got stressful at times. We'll talk all about it at the reunion. I hope y'all had the best time, because that is all we wanted you guys, was to call this game and be like, I had a fun time and I'm content with my time. But yeah, I love y'all.
and with that, I am going to share the PowerPoint for the awards.
Woo.
I don't think I'm doing this right, am I? Is it? Give me a sec. Can you guys see my screen?
Evie, no.
Yes.
Woo! Hello and everyone to the Distortion Survivor Andromeda Awards. Woo! I'm gonna politely ask Nick what the order is, because I already forgot what the order we're presenting in is.
I'm going first, Grace is second, Mikey's third, or you're third, Mikey's fourth.
Yeah. So I made this, so don't judge me.
Evie?
First up is God. No. Mo Schraub Preacher. Nick.
So I personally think, and I believe a lot of us think, that if this pre-jury made it into the jury phase of the game, into the merge phase of the game would have been completely 1000% different in every aspect of that word. I don't really have much more to say about that than that, but the most robbed preacher is Casey. I think had Casey lasted one more round and made the merge, she was going to wreak havoc on all of your lives, and it would have been a lot more, not a lot more, but a lot different of a game. For sure. If anybody else wants to speak on that, my voice sounds like shit.
I feel no, I agree with this. Casey, everybody, it would have been everybody in this merge phase, as we know, was a chaotic mess as it was, and I feel adding Casey in that mix, it would have made things a lot more different, and it would have had an interesting turn.
All I will say is y'all thought the first like 2 or 3 rounds of this merge was chaotic. Casey was bringing that same chaos back on the swap tribe, so it would have been just so much worse. But next up is our most robbed juror. We have not my job.
Oh, no, what's alrighty. So most robbed juror. This person, they definitely had such a strong game, and they had a really good chance of winning had they had a really good chance of winning had they got into the end, but unfortunately it just came down to an immunity situation, and there is no way to come back from it. So go ahead and reveal. And that is Megan. Megan, you were in a while, like definitely as the merge kept going on, in such a power position, and you were getting more up there, but due to like I said, the immunity, you ended up falling short there.
And I'd actually like to speak on this because this was a crazy moment for Prod running this comp specifically. It was the Andromeda constellation, and Megan went first, and she had a really good time. She got it in one try. Like, she submitted her answers and she was right. She was winning after both Adam and Trevor went. And then Rachel was the last one to go. And Rachel only beat her time by about 30 seconds. It was crazy close, and Rachel was the last to go. So Megan, if anything had gone wrong on Rachel's end, Megan would have had that immunity.
Oh, this was a really crazy comp to watch, and I was gonna bring up the same thing. So,
Okay.
okay. Next up we have
Oh wait, no, I wanted to talk on that for just 2 seconds.
Bitch, what? Talk on your own words.
This is my own words.
Yeah,
Megan, I'm a firm believer in you were 30 seconds away from winning the game, and I love you so much. That's all, because sub got mad at me.
Hundo P, I agree. I told myself I'm getting either 4th or making final 2. So
Period.
100% agree.
You guys this season really sucked when it came to making this, because y'all would make alliances, talking them for like 4 or 5 like words, and then y'all would just like act like they didn't exist. There were at least like 20 to 25 alliances of like pure nothing this season, and we went with like the one alliance that we found a lot of substance from, and a lot of gameplay actually came out of this alliance. So each chose fuck these bitches, which is Rachel, Megan, and Crispy. Yeah, honorable mention goes to A. That was the name of the alliance. It was just A. But this alliance was formed after the Caleb H round, and it just really they took grasp of the game really quickly, and they also were really funny in that chat, and that is a plus. So, does anyone else have anything to say since I'm done speaking?
I personally think that these three were the comedic gold of the season. Like anything that came out of with an honorable mention to Anthony, anything that came out of these three's mouths, like I 9 times out of 10 were on the floor laughing just because of how stupid, ridiculous, and silly and goofy they were. I love all three of you so much.
I feel that this alliance being formed because with the Caleb H vote, it put these three at a disadvantage. And because there was the OG Infinities that were running in the merge, and I feel that with this group being made here, I feel it really kind of changed everything in a different direction. And they had their connections with the people outside of the alliance, which helped them be able to get the outliers, other people to get the outliers, which are other people out of the game and to excel them further.
Okay, next up is duo of the season.
All right. So the nominees we have for duo of the season are Landon and Joppy, Megan and Crispy, and Trevor and Rachel. I think there is one duo that just like they really I mean, we talked about it a little tonight, but like either one of them was gonna win the game if they sat in the final two seats, and they almost did it together. And so our duo of the season is Rachel and Trevor.
Oh,
If anybody else on Proud wants
Hell,
to
I mean, hell yeah.
They were. Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead, Seb.
I was gonna say, they were very loosely linked up for a while, but once the technical triple happened, Rachel and Trevor's magic just never stopped. And like Mikey mentioned, it could have been if if it was that, but it wasn't. So
with so much respect and love, I never want to see the two of you in a game together because watching you guys work together is terrifying. Like it's scary how intelligent the both of you are apart, but when you put those two brains together, I just don't want to be a part of that as a player ever in my life. I love both of you.
I just want to say,
go ahead.
So I just want to say one thing. The instant I knew we were going to be a pair is when Caleb Reynolds messaged me when we were going into next tribal. We had already talked that we wanted to go for Max. When he said, "I'm not voting Max," I was like, "Oh, so it's me and Rachel the whole way. Caleb's going home this round, and I'm going to Rachel right now. I'm voting him right now." That was the moment for me where I knew it was going to happen.
For me, it was when we did the Survivor Player Unscramble challenge, and Trevor solved it after I did most of the work. And I said to him, I hate you, but respect. And I said, that will be my final two.
I also do want to give an honorable mention to Caleb Reynolds and Max. They were a very tight duo for most of the game, but the reason they're not nominated is because mostly Caleb was plotting against Max there towards the end. So
if you're using the word like mostly as in like it was just Caleb, then yes, mostly.
I wanted to be nice since he's not here, but
okay, next
wait,
up.
hold on.
I'm sorry.
But no, I just want to say this is also a duo of the season for me as well because I feel that you two really needed each other as you went further along in the merge, and you both acknowledged that, and you two are the most successful duo out of out of the other ones. And also, as someone who has been Trevor's ride or die before in another game, it was really nice to seeing the dynamic between his dynamic with Rachel. It just was really, I love, as someone who's worked with Trevor very closely, it was nice seeing somebody like watching it from a production standpoint.
It was also so good watching you snipe him. It was so good.
Oh, one last.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
you.
I just, Trevor, thank you for your response when I told you I was voting you out. Y'all, I looked at this man dead in the eyes and I said, Trevor, I really want to vote you out. And he said, okay. And like, that was it. And like, then he made his plea and whatever, but it was just the okay.
I
And
spent like 8 minutes trying to guilt you, which I knew wasn't gonna work, but I tried.
he said, who do you want to talk to for the next 2 days, me or Adam? And it almost got me. He said, you won't be able to message me tomorrow if you vote me out. And that really was almost the losing factor of my game. So thank you for that.
Well, one last thing I want to say about this is I'm pretty sure that when we did cast assessment, you'll see it because cast assessment was with Karen and LJ, who are in our after show, and we had Jen, if you know her. They're one of the duos that was talked about potentially happening was Trevor and Rachel. So
I called it preseason as well.
okay. I muted
Just
myself.
on vibes alone, I was like, oh yeah, these two are. Yeah. Is this me?
Yes, it's you.
Oh, this is so awkward. Hi, LOL. So we didn't have a lot of like rivalries per se. I do think we had a lot of people like coming for each other at certain points in times, but I wouldn't call them rivalries. I think that we only had one like actual like rivalry in this game at any point in time, and that goes to AJ and Adam. I do think that like Megan and Trevor, not Megan and Trevor, Megan and Rachel did have like a sort of rivalry at one point in time, but it was only one round really. Whereas like AJ and Adam's like little rivalry, even though half the time Adam didn't know it was a rivalry, started in the swap and kind of went through like half the merge of AJ just lying about Adam and then Adam finding out and then them going back and forth until Rachel was like, you know what? I'm putting both of you up. And I loved it, every second of it.
Yeah, these two, ever since that swap tribe, like especially just added, it was just a lot of mistrust that was there, and that situation ended up going into the merge phase and ended up being a continuing theme up until Billy's Big Brother night.
And it's so poetic that it was the two of them on as the nominations for that night as well.
Also, I want to clear one thing up. Somebody said Rachel and voting for women should be a rivalry. Rachel only voted for one woman in this game. One. I want to make that clear. I'm clearing Rachel Roth's name right now.
I only voted Megan at Final Four, and I did not vote for any other women, and I'm so proud of myself.
You
I
did
did nominate. I did
AJ,
nom a
but-
woman. I did nominate one, but I did not vote for her.
Okay. Next up.
Oh, another rivalry too that got mentioned kind of by Anthony. Another big pre-merge one, Casey versus Cody.
Okay, next up would be a big best move, Grace.
Best move. So all of you who were in here, y'all tried to play the best that you absolutely could. And some of y'all had some really fascinating things that you did, and some of them really helped your games immensely. And I gotta say, this best move is probably one of the out of the 6 seasons, well, I'm gonna call it 5.5 because we don't fucking talk about a certain season that much, but this is one of the best moves that I've ever seen. And as you all know, everything was dark this season, and I feel this move, it used the twist really effectively. So yeah, go ahead and show that and I'll explain more. Rachel and Trevor lying about who won immunity at Final Five. So what happened was that Rachel won the WikiLeaks challenge, and her and Trevor's idea was to swap scores and tell other people that they got each other's scores. And this happening caused the biggest threat in the game left, which was Max, to get voted out because Max, Adam, by the way, Max, Adam, and Megan all voted for Rachel at this tribal council. But because of Rachel and Trevor using the dark immunity to their advantage, they were able to effectively not only get the biggest threat out, who was going to win against pretty much anybody, but also they caused some mistrust to happen in going into the Final Four. But this is one of the best moves that I've seen.
Yeah,
And I think. Oh, go ahead, Seb. Sorry, whoever was talking can go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, I just want to say that this might be my favorite move of all distortion. Like, I cannot tell you enough. My biggest frustration with players in the past is that they never use the twist to their advantage. And this was the perfect. I just want to harken back at Final 13 when Miss Roth said, "What is the point of lying, or what is the point about dark immunities?" And at Final 5 when you guys lied about it, and I just felt so bad for Megan, Adam, and Max when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're all just gonna vote Rachel then." And then on top of you guys tying it is just a really chaotic round, and really like probably like my favorite thing because like it's just the way that the twist was used and everything really like just worked out in your favors.
Also, I want to add on to Max's bag. Max, I will say Max called it in his prod chat. He didn't. He voted the way he voted for Rachel, but he did bring up about the possibility of them lying.
I also want to just bring it up real quick because I was on the call when it happened. I want to set the record straight. Rachel was the one who said it first. And so Rachel claiming this move is very valid because she literally was straight up with Trevor and was like, what if we just lied about immunity?
I also got him to throw his vote, which we wouldn't have even known this happened if Max had just gone because everyone would have just lied to us and I wouldn't have even known I got votes. So
And the fact you guys did it again at Final Four and it almost worked was just as impressive to me.
It did not fucking work. I fucking voted
I
for
will
Trevor's
say that
ass,
Megan
bitch.
did vote for Trevor there.
I voted for Trevor's ass.
I used the word almost. I used the word almost.
It helped because like I feel like almost both times I barely had to lie because we talked about it and then Rachel was talking to Megan and Rachel was like, okay, Megan came in and just said Trevor won that comp, didn't he? And I was like, oh, this is gonna be an easy fucking lie. Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm very excited for this next one. With best move comes worst move. Now I love you all. You're all amazing humans in my life. But these are some pretty bad moves. So we have Caleb throwing his vote at Final 6, ultimately causing him to leave. We have Anthony throwing his vote on Adam, ultimately leading Caleb H to leave. And we have Adam lying to everyone after the Landon vote, despite the fact he voted in the majority. These are pretty bad, not gonna lie. But we did have to give it to Anthony for throwing his vote on Adam, and I did find it very hilarious. Anthony trying to do the math in his prod chat after the vote, and he's like, "Oh my god, how could this happen?" And then like 30 minutes later was like, oh my God, did I fuck up? Did I send him home? Because everyone's like, oh my God, it was 7-5. It was 7-5. And then everyone was like, wait a minute, what if it was 6-5-1? And just watching Anthony doing the math in like his prod chat was just like the funniest thing ever. And I just like, and the fact that this also like caused for a while, like the Anthony ended up going and then AJ left, and it's just like it caused that little thing. And it was great for Crispy and Megan. But yeah, no, not for Caleb. Sorry.
Anthony, sweetie, I love you so, so very much. And I think
Thank
that you were like
you.
purposefully throwing votes. But like when I tell you we were in the prod chat being like, oh my God, it's gonna tie. Oh my God, it's gonna tie. Oh my God, it's gonna tie. Seeing all the Jobby votes and then seeing all the Caleb votes and then you just voting Adam. We were like, oh my God, Anthony just sent his number one home.
You know,
Also,
shit happens.
so no, what would have happened had Anthony voted for Joppy at this tribal council and voted with that? The vote would have tied, but Trevor and Caleb Reynolds would have flipped and Joppy would have gone home
we were flipping.
instead of Caleb.
We were flipping.
You weren't? I thought you were.
No, I'm saying, we were totally flipping. We're not going
Oh yeah,
Roxy.
I was gonna say yes, you definitely were. I remember
yeah.
I listened to y'all's finals call before that tribal.
Which is why to us that vote was so bad, because had you voted correctly, the person you wanted to go 100% was leaving.
I plead the fifth and have no comment.
Also sending me.
And this move too caused all the chaos that ensued after.
I think had Joppy gone home, Rachel doesn't get mad and make fuck these bitches. I think so many other things don't happen in the game that happened. It was just a lot. It was a lot.
Okay. What do you mean? Okay, I want to say this. I want to press this by saying the aftermath of the final 12 was one of the most disheartening things to watch as a prod member. Just watching everyone so emotionally drained about it. And like some of y'all didn't need to be emotionally drained about it. But anyways, next is Hero.
What Rachel said, just a lot less rage. A lot less rage if Joppy goes there.
All right. So next up, we have the hero of the season. We have three amazing noms here. I think that despite someone on the nominee board being voted in touchy subjects for villain of the season, I think all three of these people played very heroically. And unfortunately, we can only give it to one person, and that person is Max. Max, you had this uncanny ability. You have this uncanny ability to just get people to like you. You are such just a lovable person, and you never like you were always playing with your heart first, and like it really showed. I mean, you'll see a little bit later, but like you were so high in the trust ranking every week. Like you, even if you weren't like making lots of moves or anything, you had one hell of a social game, and you were truthful and loyal.
Yeah.
Max, can I go first?
I just want to bring up, Max. I love you. You are one of my best friends in this community. I would sit on calls with you and you would talk to our friends, you saying, I'm not doing well. And I'd have to PM them, be like, hey, shut your mouth. But Max has been number one in the power rankings for the past 2 weeks. It was yeah, you go.
Max, what I will say, and it wasn't the week that you went home because you were still in the top 3 in the trust rankings the week you went home. I did the trust rankings. There was only 1 week where you weren't in the top 3. I think that says so much about you as a person. I also think that what shows a lot about you as a person is quite literally the only reason you got voted out was because of how likable as a human being you were. Because everybody else in the game, specifically Rachel and Trevor, understood that if you got to the end, there was no chance anybody was beating you because you're just a likable, kind human being. And
I think like I even think back to the jury's reception of Max, like all y'all were devastated that Max was out because of the game that he played.
And I think that you are just somebody who naturally has this like halo of joy around you. And that's what drew people in. But sadly, that's what Icky Rachel and Icky Trevor did, used against you to get you out of the game. But you played an absolutely amazing game. And I love everybody on this cast, but I don't think anybody holds a candle to you being hero of the season.
Yeah. And another reason, like, what makes you a hero is you always wanted everyone the best. Even if you weren't working with people, you always wanted the best intention people, like the best, and you always had the best intentions with everybody around you. And you just, because of that, people just, even if you weren't working with them, they always felt you were a good presence to be around. And that is the pure definition of a hero.
Yeah, but every good hero has a villain. So Nick.
Oh, my favorite award. So I am under the impression I go by the notion that villains definitely have more fun. As a villain myself, I would know that. The nominees all were villainous in very different ways. Whether it was constantly throwing their number one under the bus for next to no reason, or arguing with people, anybody they could at tribal councils, or just snaking people left and right. They all deserve their nominations, and I love them so much for that. But we can only have one villain of the season, and that is Joppy. Joppy's ability to just not give a single fuck at tribals is something I aspire to. I'm always bold as fuck in main chats, but quiet as fuck at tribals. The fact that he would just argue with any and everyone if he didn't agree with what somebody was saying, it takes me back to the Crispy versus Choppy tribal, where he just screamed at Crispy during the planet question. Do I think that Choppy is a villain in life? Absolutely not. But in this season, he most certainly was.
Another thing that made him villainous is that, especially on the swapped Interstellar tribe, he was literally running circles around all of you in lies. Like, I've never seen somebody lie so much. It was entertaining to watch, but he was there to cause chaos.
I thought it was really funny that like you guys were finally getting like a calm tribal and everything was seeming like it was all quiet. And then Crispy said that the planet was Pluto because no one was talking to them. And then Joppy said, well, that's weird. Because you haven't talked to me. And it just, that fight, anything Joppy yelled at was like iconic. And then like Joppy as well, like trying. I don't believe Joppy I believe Joppy was throwing the challenge. I never got any indication. But the standing on one leg challenge in the pre-merge, where a minute in, Joppy was saying, Caleb, can you drop? Because if you don't, I will. It was just amazing.
Side note, going back a little bit, y'all better put fucking respect on Crispy's name because Crispy was nowhere close to half the villains half of this cast was.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. This is you, Grace.
Oh, underdog of the season. I absolutely love this award because whenever I play orgs, this is kind of there's a few different prototypes that I end up playing as when I play, and this is a method that I have played as before many times. But under the regular season, these are people who were on the bottom at times, but they were such a rootable because of they were ended up being such a rootable character, and even when they had very little hope, they still pulled through. So our underdog of the season is Adam, because since before merge on the swap, starting from the swapped interstellar tribe, Adam was kept getting thrown under the bus like crazy, and some of the stuff Adam did not do, but it was a constant motion. And then going into merge, literally every single round of the early merge, it was between Adam and somebody, between Adam, mainly Anthony too, Adam and Anthony, Adam and like mainly. And Adam's name kept getting thrown and thrown and thrown. And then when AJ left, it calmed down some. But at that point, people were starting to see, oh, I can take Adam to the end because his name's been around every round. But I literally thought Adam was going to, I kept saying in the project, I said, he's going to get out. Like, he was going to either go in Caleb Hahn's place. He was going to go early in the merge. But he ended up proving all of us wrong and ended up getting to the final two. And that was really cool to see.
I'm gonna speak before Nick speaks on their boyfriend. I love you so much, Adam. And I mean, it was brought up a lot tonight. Obviously, this is your first Skype game. This is your first time being on this side, making it this far, and the fact you were able to do it with your name being out there from your own allies, from people who weren't aligned with you since probably final 15. It's just wild to see you get this far. And yeah, I'm gonna let Nick speak on you, I guess.
Yes. Wait, can I speak first? Because I feel like Nick's gonna have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Not like it's my birthday or anything.
It is Nick's birthday now.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mikey.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
Adam, honestly, watching you play this game, it reminded me a lot of the way I usually kind of end up playing in games when I make it far, in that I'm on the bottom, but you just have the spirit to keep pushing, and you just no matter what happened, you would come out on the other side ready to keep moving. And you made it all the way to the final two. You got 3 votes. You didn't play a bad game at all. You made it here. And even though you were on the bottom a lot, it was really impressive to watch.
First things first, I love you so much. Secondly, I wouldn't know what that's like because I never play an underdog game or from the bottom. Thirdly, as your boyfriend, watching so many people lie on your name was the most frustrating thing in the world. The amount of times I went into that prod chat and I was like, this is fucking bullshit, was insane. And I want to thank Prod for dealing with me this season because my boyfriend was in the game. I adore you so much. And I want you to know I was the only Prod member that knew you were making it to the end the entire time. But I love you so much. I adore you so much. And I'm so happy for you.
Not the slander. Anyways, next up. Is it me?
Yeah, you can go. Because
We have most iconic moments. We have Joppy versus everyone. That's just every fight Joppy's in. We have the Caleb Barblind side. And we have the multiple wigs, hats, and masks of the season, from Caleb H to Max to Anthony, I guess. I think he's wearing a hat. but
He is
we
hot.
can only give it to one. And it's the Caleb R blind side. This was fun. This was so fun.
This was a last minute decision too.
I was
Very.
gooped. I was gooped.
Yeah, everyone, I'm gonna keep bringing it up. This is like my favorite blind side in distortion history. The fact that two people voted Max and they got negated. There was the votes of Rachel and Trevor against Caleb, and then there were the two other votes, which made it a technically 2-2 to 1-1 at final six at like 11 or 12 at night. Like, it just made everything feel amazing. It was so cool to actually like just experience this.
And that was like, it was the last tribal of that block. And so y'all were already so fucking like tired and exhausted. And for that moment to happen right at the end was such a crazy button for that whole night.
That round, that voting round in its entirety, just added to the fact that I never want to see Rachel and Trevor in a game together. Just because the fact that y'all were like, Trevor's probably going here, or Max. Let's vote Caleb. Wild. I tend to think that I'm pretty good at these games, but I don't hold a candle to either of you two in terms of how you are able to think of every possible scenario. And like that to me is an example of you both thinking of just every possible scenario. And you both deserve all your flowers.
Also, the way I want to say that second tribal too, it was very unexpected because Max was the target to go. And then Max said, "Nope, I'm immune, bitches." And then bye, Caleb.
Hard agree.
Also, what happened to the slideshow?
Hey, Glenn, give me a sec. I'm trying to figure this out. Apologize.
We had to fix something. Stay tuned.
I'm so bad at this. How do people make PowerPoints? Okay, I think I got this. I apologize. This is why I said this is Grace's job usually. I'm so bad at
Gracie's
these
been
things.
very busy though, so I wasn't able to put this together. Well, except for one thing, but y'all see that at the end. It's a fun little thing.
If you were to describe this season in one planet, what?
Honestly,
what is the most quiet planet? Because y'all never answered that question.
I would say
I answered every single time, and I feel like I gave good rationales with every answer that I said.
Rachel did answer every single time, and she always answered a different planet every single time. And for that, Rachel, I appreciate the hell out of you for that.
Thank you. I worked really hard on my answers. Also, Megan, sorry for my answer at the last tribal because it wasn't kind. But we're good.
Okay. All right. Could you guys see my screen? Wait.
It's loading.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't do PowerPoint.
Yeah,
There you
Oh my god. Okay, next one.
So I'm gonna take this one because I won this one my season. And to me, it's the most important one. Strategic player of the season is somebody who just like kind of takes a season, puts it in their brain, and spits it out the best way they can to ensure that what they want to happen happens at all times. And I think that all three of these players did exactly that. There were points when some did it better than others, but I think all three of them very much deserve to be nominated. Rachel and Trevor, you guys killed this game. Caleb R also killed this game until you killed him. But we can only have one strategic player of the season, and that is.
Oh, it's Trevor.
It's Trevor. Trevor, you won strategic pots. I think from start to finish of this game, you kind of had a map of what you wanted to do with this game. and it worked so, so, so incredibly well for you up until Rachel sat there for an hour and was like, maybe this isn't what's best for me. And I think I can not say more good things about you or I'll never shut up. So I will stop.
Yeah, so and you know, a lot of people are gonna be like, so my only experience of watching Trevor in a game before this was BB Disney. And so I didn't know. So I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wow, everyone's really overhyping Trevor's gameplay. Like, you know, but wow, this was really cool to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed watching you guys like you guys found a really good way to blend the entertainment and the strategy this season to a way where like I really love you guys to like it was really fun to watch, but like watching like Trevor speak to people and like really push his narratives at time. It was really fun to watch. And then like I don't know, it was just I can't even put it into words.
I also think I do want to say that Rachel was a really, really, really close second here. I think what pushed it over the edge was even when they weren't Trevor's moves, they were benefiting Trevor. Whereas I feel like sometimes Trevor had moves that didn't really benefit you, Rachel.
Oh, for sure. He killed every single person that I ever considered working with so that he was my only path to the end. And I let him do it because I figured I could make it work and I did. So slay. Also, you are literally like working with you is the most fun allyship that I have had in such a long time. And just like seeing your brain work firsthand, like you deserve you don't deserve all the credit, but you deserve all the attention that you're getting right now. So congratulations for that.
I appreciate that.
Okay. And since I messed up the transitions on these slides, you already know who's nominated for social.
All right. So like a lot of this game came down to the social aspect and like we were taking your trust rankings every week. Like I know y'all got annoyed with us sometimes, but we did it for a reason. And there is one person who, like we said before, was in the top 3 every week except for one. And like we couldn't not give them this award. And that person is Max. I said it before, but like the way you just got along with people this season put you in such a good position to go far. Unfortunately, it put you in a bad position right at the end game, and it's what caught you at the end. But you like everybody loved you this season, Max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Max, I remember you were like, we would be on the calls and you would be saying, oh, I don't think I'm doing well. I don't think I'm doing well. You literally, I kid you not. So the power rankings, this guy right here was literally running on that number 1 spot the entire pre-merge of the game and still stayed consistent up there. Like, is that a good having and as me being primarily a social player, our goal with being a social player is to make people feel so comfortable with us on a personal level, or like not on a personal level and then developing to where it develops into a game level. And they know that we are somebody that we can count on, even if we don't intend to work with them. We will know it's somebody to count on. And that definitely is something that Max definitely did, for sure. And he made sure everybody was still good. But yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, stop. Y'all are not gonna make me cry twice tonight.
I think what pushed it over the edge for Max winning social player of the season, there were like 1 or 2 times where people were like, I don't want to go on call with Max because I know if I go on call with Max, I'll want Max to stay in this game longer. And I think that really adds to like, I don't use this word too often, but your missed in this game, I would say, was kind of crazy. The way you would call people, and then people would immediately hop off call and be like, ugh, like I have to take Max Far now. Like that call was so good that I have to take Max Far now. Is like
Yeah,
kind of crazy. It happened more than once and it was insane.
even and then like there'd be people who hop on call and they'd be like, me and Max didn't talk game at all, but like, oh, I love Max. Oh, I want to keep talking to him. There'd be multiple times where like people in their prod chats would be like, I don't know where Max's head is at, but like I don't want to vote him this round. So but next up is Grace, you're gonna do this one, right?
Yeah. Physical player. So all four of you are here because y'all won a few immunities throughout this merge. Like you all, I will say that all four of these people here at least won two or more immunity challenges this season. But obviously this award's gonna go to the person who won the most challenges, and that is Rachel. Rachel, what is currently is she's tied with the you went too
Oh my
far.
god, how do PowerPoints work?
Go back.
She
Oh my
is
God.
she is currently tied with the record that is held by me and Mac Egling with 4 individual immunity wins.
I'm so
And we're
bad at
counting the HOH when is the counting as a challenge, by the way.
Wait, so
I'm so
technically,
bad.
since Trevor gave me immunity, was I immune the most times?
Yeah. Yeah. And what I will say is, as somebody who is kind of good at these comps, like in general in orgs, like I don't think anybody here, and that's coming from like 2 compies like Grace and myself, hold a candle to you, Rachel, in this game. You kind of like especially in the end game, forced people to like look at you as a like threat to win the game. You kind of put yourself in a position where you're like, you're going to look at me and you're going to look at me like I'm a winner. And I loved every second of it. You're incredible.
Yeah, this is just amazing. Watch you win like every comp from like final 6, I think.
Final 6 on,
Final
or
6.
final 5 on, final 5 on.
Final 5, final 4, final 3, and the HOH. And at least we could say now that you're the first person to win a comp during Billy's Big Brother night and win the game. So next up is player. You guys already saw this because I suck at PowerPoints. But Rachel, as the winner of the season, you are ultimately ineligible to win this award. We have Megan, Trevor, and Max. This award went to the person who I think really just ran this game. They might not have won the other parts of the player of the seasons, but they had that ability as well, and they still brought it with them. So the player of the season, oh my god, it's Trevor. Why can't I get the Trevor transitions correct?
Can I
So
get one
every time Trevor,
slide, please? Just
I'm
one
trying.
slide.
I'm sorry. Trevor, like I said, like you might not have won physical and you might not have won social, but you did really well with what you had socially. We'll talk more about certain people who talk to certain people, but you did a really good job of keeping your previous connections close to you, as well as attempting to make new relationships. And on top of that, you were able to win immunities with when you can. You won that music video challenge. You won touchy subjects. Like you won important comps in my eyes, at least. And you were able to make it to the end and have your closest ally cut you because you were that big of a threat to win. So, but that doesn't disregard anything that Megan and Max did in this game because, like mentioned, the two of them also killed it and would have won at the end. So, but the others want to speak on that. I'm not gonna press anything, so I don't do
Correct.
anything back.
I want to do a correction real quick. Rachel's actually the second HOH to win the game. We forgot about LJ.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yes,
And we just got a
APLJ.
reminder about that, by the way.
APLJ. Trevor, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because of something else. I think you killed the season.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say that hasn't already been said, but like you really played an incredible game, and the only reason you were in the jury is because they knew they couldn't beat you, and it like it's amazing to have so many people in the final five that are eligible for this award because you all played freaking incredible games, but Trevor, you really just like pushed it over the edge for us this season.
Okay, next up, they didn't say any words, but you all saw who it was already. Jesse's favorite is Crispy. Jesse didn't give us any words to say, so I'll just say a little. Crispy, you were fought for in this prod team. Your confessionals, you said it all the time in different chats. You weren't a villain, you weren't mean, but you brought it to your prod chat, and that's all that matters for us. So we enjoyed you a lot, and I'm gonna let everyone else speak while I go find Billy's speech. The next person.
Yeah, Crispy, I mean, you know how much I love you as a person, and getting to watch you play this game was so much fun. It seemed like you had a good time, and like it showed in your prod chat, and you were just someone that was very entertaining to watch play.
Crispy, I think I told you a little bit earlier, but you play at such a high level and at a level that is so respectful and respectable that I just adore you absolutely. And I think that you are such an incredible human being inside and out.
I still remember when you messaged me the first night we opened apps. Hey, can I get the link to your application? I'm filling this out. I'm sending it to a friend. I'm like, and because I knew what you were trying to do, I said, okay, who's this friend you're referring to? And you're like, oh, you'll see. And then you send your app, and I'm like, wow, your friend seems pretty iconic. And I immediately, and I'm like, no, I'm so ready to have you on.
And
That's how I felt about, honestly, that's how I felt about all of you. I was like, I'm ready to have y'all preseason. I'm ready to have all of y'all on here. Let's go.
And Crispy was in fact the first app that we got. And so
the first interview.
It was a very iconic start to the casting process.
Okay, next up is
Thank you
Mikey.
guys. Y'all are sweet.
Next up is Mikey. Mikey has chosen.
I have chosen Max as my host favorite. I chose Max because like it was really enjoyable to watch you play this game, but at the same time, as your friend, it was so frustrating at times for myself because I couldn't tell you the whole story, and I could see how much heart you were putting into it. And like every time you came to us as prod and you needed to talk, like I couldn't tell you the whole story, but I could see how much love and how much respect you had for everyone in the game and for us on prod. And it was so lovely. And like we are so thankful to have had you this season.
I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. I love you, Max. You know that. We'll talk more later. Okay. So next up is Billy. Billy left a nice little speech. He apologizes for not being here. But Billy's favorite was Megan. Billy said, Megan, finally getting to host you has been a dream. The way you navigated this game was something fun to watch, especially towards the end game. I'd always open Skype and find your chats to see what you said. Thank you so much for playing. So, okay.
Who's next, Nick?
Next is
Oh, it's
Nick.
me.
Nick,
My host favorite, I saw a lot of myself in when I played season 3, like a lot of myself in when I played season 3. My host favorite is Trevor. We both got sent out by a close ally at third place. We both kind of ran the game from start to finish. Trevor, words cannot describe how much I adore you. You are such an incredible human being. You were always super respectful, kind to the people that you were playing with, and always left it on a game level. And somebody who can run a game while simultaneously doing that deserves so much love and respect. And I cannot say any more nice things about you because you deserve all of the nice words. I'm also waiting for Isha to say happy birthday to me.
I'll call her right now.
Okay.
I'm next.
Next up.
My host favorite is like I said. Oh, well, okay, it's good. It's Adam. So Adam is my host favorite because kind of like what Nick was saying for Trevor, Adam is somebody who I identify myself as whenever I play. And I really love seeing the fight that he had and watching the amount of times he got targeted in this game and seeing him being able to maneuver and slide his way through every single time. I loved it so much. And also along with Max, like I got to on like our little on his calls or whatever I was on, I got to hear Adam vent and talk on stuff. And I just loved every bit of it. And it was just really, like I said, from an underdog and somebody who feels like they're fighting from the bottom. I really love when people are able to pull through and be able to go against that. You made it to FTC in your first like actual org. That is a huge accomplishment you should be very proud of. But yeah, I just want to also say all of you here who played this season, I loved watching every single one of you very much. Just I want y'all to know that from me. Like every single one of you here. Yes, running the wall sit that only lasted probably like, I don't know, about 30 seconds, and you weren't even on the wall.
You're forgetting about Rachel's. Yeah, I'm not doing this.
That interaction took 30 seconds. But yeah, that is
Okay.
Adam, love you. And again, love you all, everybody, very much.
Okay, guys, I chose Rock. He's not here. I'm just kidding. I just want to preface by saying if you told me 2 years ago while I was crying getting gaslit in a game that I would choose this person as my favorite, I would have laughed. And also if you told me that in 2023 I would be hosting a Rachel Roth win, I would be telling you you're crazy. Like we were really close at a time, and being able to host you in this game has been wild. The fact that like I got a text 9 a.m. the morning after apps closed going, yeah, I think I'll play. And now you're here and you won and you just said the most wildest shit ever. It was funny as shit. You brought the gameplay. There have been multiple times at like final 8, I'd be like, Rachel's winning, and that's that. And like, Rachel, you're in your prod chat right now being like, why didn't anyone else pick me? Because I stole you. I was like, I'm taking Rachel Roth, and that's final. But I just really enjoyed watching you in this game, and I'm so glad to have you in our winner circle. And when I update the Facebook finally, fingers crossed, it'll be soon. then I will be able to post the winners wall on the cover page. So
I also want to say that
haven't.
Go ahead, Mikey Rupee.
Okay. I haven't really said it yet, but like it's just so amazing every time I get a new friend in the winners chat. Just have to brag a little bit. Rachel gets
Must be
to sit
nice. Yeah, well, I get to sit next to Trevor in the third place club. So, but what I will say, I cannot express this. Like, I want to so aggressively express this, Rachel Roth. The shit that comes out of your mouth, like you posting in your prod chat a picture of you and Max on call and saying just two people voting each other out. Like, where do you come up with those things? Also, like, I cannot aggressively express enough how much adoration I have for you. You are an absolutely incredible person and player.
yeah, it was kind of hard not to give you all the episode quotes.
But quickly
we have
before we do
episode
anything
quotes
else,
too that all of you will get to hear after this.
before we do anything else, I'm expecting something from somebody for a moment. So just really quick.
Yeah, it's you.
Oh. Get out of the way. Happy birthday.
Oh my God, Mom, I've been waiting all night for it. I love you so much.
Love you.
Oh,
Okay.
If I'm correct, next up is the pre-jury superlatives that Grace made.
This is like I said, I got a bit in the awards. This is what I do because, like I said, we love all of you very much. All of you get superlatives. And I have a little trend I do with it. So go ahead and start the first clip. Rock, the action shot moment. You literally, Rock had never done an action shot. This motherfucker's action shot. You want an action? He literally says it is action shot, and it's in there. You want an action shot? I am the action shot. Most iconic shit ever. Next person.
Except we couldn't hear it.
Yeah, Tim, the survival spy master. When I say survival spy master, I mean the man's only spy master clues and experiences are survivor players.
Well, I mean, like if Crispy taught Tim how to play games, it would have been an issue.
You shut your mouth. Don't you dare.
Next up, Tony, the cat dad. Because you know, cats, not only he owned a cat named Grayson, but cats also like to hide. And Tony hid.
No, I don't think Tony hid. Tony left.
Next up, Cody, the father of the year. Cody is a dad to a daughter, and obviously, like, and he has such a dad, like he just has that personality. He obviously has to get this one. And next up, Casey, the chaos queen. Even though, like, and we kind of talked about it, she definitely caused a lot of fun on the pre-merge section for real. Whenever she was around, she caused. Next up, or next slide. The jury superlatives, Caitlin, the Southern sister, because she is that Southern girl. And obviously, don't click again, so I'm saying click. Caleb on the kitty drink by Starbucks, because Caleb loves his cats and is a barista. Next up, Anthony, the San Fran comedian. Kind of like we were talking about it with Rachel, but like Anthony, anytime I looked in his chat and saw something, it made me laugh a lot. Like you made me laugh a lot this season by your comments.
Anthony was bold as hell.
Anthony was getting villain of the season all pre-merge. Just so the shit that he was saying in his chat.
Oh, it was funny.
One thing it brings me back to is during the cast reveal, Anthony went, "Megan's so cute. Oh, she's a Swiftie, never mind."
That was so funny. Next up, AJ, the Portuguese princess. Like, the girl is in Portugal and still made a way to play this game. Like, that's a round of applause right there.
That damn time zone
And
change.
then the blocks and Queller. Anytime I see by the way, in this game, I find it funny. There was a chat made, and it was Landon, Caleb, R, and Max. And it wasn't even an alliance chat. It was literally to go play Roblox while talking about it.
The chat was called "This is not an alliance. This is Roblox."
But Landon's the blocks and Queller, and it also came from that icky season. And Landon, and we appreciate Landon for being the only person that out of the few people we asked, Landon was the only person that came back. And we're really happy to have you back. Joppy, the fire emoji fighter. Like, not only he has some words for people, but I've never seen somebody send so many fire emojis like this man is. Next up. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Crispy, the best book reader. Not only Crispy loves his books, but also Crispy's reads were very good in this game, by the way. They're very strong and they're very point on. And also Crispy can read somebody like crazy. You know what Crispy also has a book on that he didn't get to introduce in this game? How to play code names. Next up. Caleb R, the ass buzzer. And y'all are wondering, why did you give him that? Every time I would be at work, I would hear because I keep my phone in my back pocket, my phone would be vibrating with calls, on calls, on calls, on calls. And every time I got a second to breathe and I looked at who was calling, it always said, Caleb Reynolds is calling this person. I'm like, dude, how many fucking calls are you gonna... It was really funny though, but every time my phone kept ringing and ringing, I always knew it was him calling somebody.
I have to message his project and be like, "Can you stop ringing all? Can you stop ringing?"
Yeah.
Like they'll be there. I promise. You don't need to tell all of Prague. Just record it.
The musked auto crack. Wait, is this an autocorrect? Is this worded right? I think that's an autocorrect. I think it's supposed to say the masked autocorrector. Uh-oh, I think my keyboard autocorrect got me on that one. Next up, Megan, the I is comp girly. I gave this one to Meg because I just remember Megan doing the time comp and she was hitting her vape at the same time. It was so funny.
Fuck yeah.
And she ended up doing...
I saw Taylor Swift to get that fucking time, so fuck you, Anthony. Like Taylor Swift and you'll get 10 off the time.
She also got a very close time with it too. So next up, Trevor, the ultimate orgo. Trevor, I've never seen you flop in a game. And this game is another example. I've never seen you flop in a game. And you call me a GOAT all the time, like greatest of all time. I call you that as well, sir.
Oh, it's mutual.
See, I call you the GOAT, but like the other one. Like the one you drag to the end.
And next up, we have Adam. Sorry, Nick, the better Ken.
That's fine, because I was Barbie.
And then Rachel, the rocket nurse. So not Rachel's time in this game. Not only was she a nurse at night doing her job, but rockets travel, and Rachel was either tending to her nursing duties or she was traveling around to different places.
I don't think you'll understand. There were several rounds where Rachel was just at different points in the country. Like I remember Rachel getting on call one night and being like on one side of the country, and then the next night she's like, yeah, I'm all the way on the other side of the country now. And I'm like, what did I miss? When did you get on a plane?
There was ever an unnecessary double, blame Rachel.
Sorry.
But I think that's all. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's all
So
the
again, congratulations, guys, on an amazing season. You guys really brought it. And for the people who don't usually play games, continue. And the people who do, stop.